TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You wound up working for Vince McMahon Sr. around that time period, right?
Could have been. Yeah, I don't know if I can't remember now if I was in between Europes or whatever.
What were your thoughts on Vince?
Senior?
Yeah.
Nice man. I could never tell you what happened or, they brought me in for...
I think Blassie was your manager?
Well, yeah. And I think somewhere it changed in there. Like he did a couple of matches, and then on the second set of tapes, then he said, I got too many guys. I don't remember. Maybe it was, I can't remember now who was first, but I had the Wizard and then Blassie, or I had Blassie, then the Wizard. And one of them said, I got too many guys now. He said, it's going to dilute me too much to manage you. And I didn't give a shit. Just make me some money. But that never happened either. So
right.
Obviously, at that point, somebody didn't like me, or I pissed somebody off because, I was supposed to be back for the next tapings, and it just never came about.
Did you like working with managers, or would you rather be your own?
I'd rather be my own. I mean, I figure a manager serves one purpose. He takes your heat or shares your heat. And I have no problem with managers. I mean, guys that can't talk, they got to have a manager. Or guys that have trouble getting heat in the ring, they need a manager. It's just like a crutch. They got to have that aspect of it. Simply because they lack something, whether it's the ability to speak or whether it's the ability to get heat in the ring. They need that third aspect in there. The manager situation is it's out of hand. It has been out of hand for a number of years. I mean, guys that could work can work.
Yeah.
And if you have a manager that would add to your deal, that little extra thing in there. But for the most part, I just seen it as a crutch and something that you really don't need.
When you were working for Vince Sr., I think you had a couple matches, maybe one or two with Bob Backlund, and you also got to work with Bruno. What are your memories of working with Bob and Bruno?
I didn't really work with either one of them. I mean, later on, I worked with Bruno's kid. I never worked with
David.
Backlund.
Actually, what were your memories of Bob and Bruno?
Have nothing against either one of them. I mean, if you want history, I can give you history. I mean, of what I was told. And it's not something that I was privy to. I mean, Backlund was a very black and white type of guy.
Yeah.
Not exactly your most charismatic guy in the world. But then again, there's a lot of us that aren't exactly charismatic, and the statement was made by Bruno supposedly. Jesus Christ, he's not ethnic. He's too black and white. He'll never draw a dime. And the story that I got was that Vince heard this, and he said he will draw. And, yes, Backlund appeared to draw because he surrounded Backlund with, some of the greatest workers in the world. I mean, he surrounded him with Morocco, with Orton Jr., with Playboy Buddy Rose, with Ray Stevens, with, the list goes on and on and on.
Right.
So when you're surrounded with that kind of talent, Jesus Christ, you better be able to put an ass in the seat.
Yeah.
And again, I to this day, I'm not saying it wasn't Backlund. It could have been Backlund. But I'm going to say, if you got that supporting cast, goddamn, I think, even I could have been a success. I mean, you could have made me the world champion. And if you give me that kind of supporting under talent, it's going to draw. It kind of reminds me of the old era when, and I call it the old era. I mean, I guess you'd call it the ancient era, where I can't think of his name right now. Was the former world Buddy Rogers? When somebody would want Buddy Rogers, to come into their territory, Buddy, I want you to come work for me. Oh, okay. I'll come, but I want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy to come in with me. In other words, he wanted to surround himself with everybody that had a goal of making money. In other words, my place on the card is opening match. I'm giving you hell of an opening match, but I know that I'm going to be making more money in an opener working under Buddy Rogers that I am going to be the main event, working with somebody else. So you just, that's the kind of position it reminds me of. I mean, Rogers had the ability to take in and had his own crew that would come with him. And again, they all knew their job, and their job was to, of course, make Buddy Rogers and make the card a whole.
As far as Vince Jr. goes, did you ever have any interactions with Vince Jr. at all?
No,
Okay.
never did. I mean, shook his hand. That was about it. Never had anything to do with him. Just heard things. Again, second and third hand. I got nothing for him. That's nothing against him. I mean, you got to admit, he's got to be one of the smartest guys in the world for the way that he marketed wrestling. I mean, it was basically an unknown product that he took, that was nickel and dimed. I mean, we sell pictures, at $1 a pop, and he takes it to another level with vitamins and lunch boxes and all the paraphernalia, the action figures. Just a very, very smart man about marketing and taking somebody who's got a little bit of charisma and creating somebody larger than life, which he was able to do. I mean, he was able to produce, I'm going to say, make chicken salad out of chicken shit. In other words, he could take a wrestler with no working ability, but with a spot of charisma and, make them a lot of money and make himself a tremendous amount of money.
You opened up a wrestling school with Buddy Rose eventually after you left the business. You kind of left the business just because it was time to go?
I left the business because, the business was done with me. I mean, I'm under no illusions. I mean, I was getting old. I didn't no longer care to, take, the dangerous bumps, and I no longer care to work with people that you didn't know how the fuck they were going to treat your body. I mean,
Right.
I just come through a period of time where guys had a respect for each other. We enter into this contest. I'm giving you my body. Take good care of it. You're giving me your body. I'm going to take good care of it. And you're going into an era where God only knows what kind of windmill you're going to have to fight or what kind of jackhammer you're going to have to work with. I was able to, pretty much control those ends of things. And if I couldn't control it, I just told him, I said, hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm at the age where you fucking hurt me. You'll be in the ring by yourself.
Right.
And you can explain to the promoter why I'm not there.
You opened up a kiddie farm.
You better fucking be sure I'm going to tell him why I'm no longer there. Kind of reminds me of a story. And I told my students that. I said, if you get a guy that want to work with you, get out, grab the mic and say, ladies and gentlemen, he's entirely too tough for me this evening. He is the winner. And I said, and I actually had a couple students that did that. I mean, they try to work with guys, on shows, and they wouldn't work. You just step outside. He's too tough for me tonight. He can work by himself. And so I got a kick out of that. That they actually listened to it. And I forgot what the original question was, but the reason I got involved, and it wasn't that I wanted to be involved with a wrestling school, because I didn't go to a wrestling school per se.
Right.
I joined in the old boy network. In other words, we'll help you, and it's kind of like a fraternity. There was no big money fee paid to learn from anybody. It was just, they would teach you. We will help you. And so I didn't like the way the wrestling schools were run. They were run, number one, by, greedy people that didn't know shit about the business anyway. In other words,
right.
So I did jobs for WWF, and now that qualifies me to be a teacher. No, it doesn't qualify you to be a teacher. It doesn't qualify you to charge somebody $5,000 and then you take them in there and beat the shit out of them.
Get them to quit.
And get them to quit. And now we end up with 3 guys, but I got 5 guys, $5,000, and that's the way you run your business. No, I think that it's got to be a two-way street.
TitleMatchNetwork.com